expression of love and taking care of the children. So those are the reasons. And sometimes, not every time when people engage in the act of marriage, they do it for the sake of procreating children. Sometimes it is companionship and fulfillment of one another. Therefore, I really say that when you say that you are using the birth control of faith, that you just go by faith and you expect no children will be born. The truth of the matter is that that conception is irrational. God created us and He gave us the capacity. Wherever we do an act of marriage and there is no impediment, either by the natural control, children will be conceived. Imagine someone who marries. Now it's possible you get 19 children or 20 children every year. It will not augur well. And it will be very difficult for the family and even for you to provide for them. That's why birth control is necessary. And it has been practiced since time immemorial, even by our communities. Some of the birth control is abstinence. You can abstain. It's one of the birth control methods. But sometimes, because we eat njugu, mapera, miwa, all these sugar cane, sometimes it's very difficult. But abstinence, the natural method, and all these can be used. But we exercise faith, but faith that is reasonable. Alan, you had a question.
Yeah, my question is concerning African Christian theology.
Oh, that's fine. We can discuss any matter. It's theology under the tree. You can discuss anything.
Yeah. And this one, getting the words from Halbert Noland, who says that African churches are mainly for sacramental services and ritual services. And he further support his argument that when you look at African churches, they are the spiritual leaders. They are not polled on issues affecting the people, like the issue of social justice, peace, access to drinking water. So I wanted to hear your voice concerning Halbert Noland.
Okay. I wanted to say that African Christian theology, the ultimate purpose was to make Christianity relevant to the African context and situation. The basis of Reconstruction theology is that we need to have personal reconstruction. The way we operate as African, we need personal reconstruction. Another thing that we need to do reconstruction is not only the person or the culture, is also ecclesiastical reconstruction. The church needs to be reconfigured to become relevant to the African context and situation. Sometimes we concentrate on sacraments at the expense of real practical issues. And you'll find that the observation of that scholar, I agree with it 100%, because sometimes the church has become irrelevant. Right now in the political spectrum, the church will be lost in UDA, Azimio, chorus. And every church leader will go to their tribal cocoons and they will not relevantly speak reality and real issues that affect us. It is our person. We will not talk about the issues of corruption. We will not talk about the issues because we are sometimes beneficiaries of the same. We are beneficiaries in Harambes of building churches, buying cars, fueling our cars, and we become direct beneficiaries. So the church needs to be configured. Number one, it needs to speak on relevant issues. Number two, the church needs to be reconfigured so that it can be self-governing, self-supporting, self-propagating. The structures that we have may be too expensive for the Christians to support. Therefore, it needs to be reconfigured in the way that it can be supported well. Lastly, it needs to be reconfigured in church planting. We have done the statistics like of Kapsabet town, we have around 68,000 people. But the people who attend church every Sunday are less than 15,000. Around 40,000 people are at home. We need to reconfigure the church to be relevant. Because sometimes as theologians, they can stay for 10 years, 8 years at home. Yet, there is a possibility of having them do church planting and they become relevant quickly. We need to think, not the traditional way that you will find a parish that is ready and available for you. We need to rechange and reconfigure what we do. Invest in church planting, invest in skill, so that we do not become conventional. Even in development, we need to be involved in development. And it is participatory, sustainable development that comprises of everything. What you're saying is true. Any other issue that is outside this scope, you may ask. Hidero, are you praying or you want to ask something?
About the contraceptives, we understand that it has had both negative and positive implications in
Yeah.
society. So my question is, how do we present the message of contraceptives in such a way that we can avoid the negativities?
Okay, let's look at it now. Let's look at it practically. There are people who are not Christians. They don't even claim to do abstinence until marriage. They will engage in sex. The Anglican charter, when the HIV and AIDS was very prevalent, they say that the morality of condoms for those people is that it protects life. There are people who will engage in sex, no matter what you do. They will engage. So for those people, the morality is that it might protect their lives. But it has been abused, and it has brought a lot of moral decadence in our society. It has broken the youths, and we need to use it in the context of marriage. That is the Christian principle, that the contraceptives should be used in the context of marriage. Before marriage, it's abstinence. But that is in the ideal. What about the reality? We cannot discuss the reality. But I've said there are people who are not Christians, and they are going to engage one way or the other. So they must understand this. And I want to say, just as my brother Alan raised, we must not be relevant. Do you know why people don't attend men's fellowship? It's because sometimes we don't discuss real issues. And this is one of the real issues that I thought we can really discuss and debate in this forum. And sometimes teaching live might be difficult. Sometimes teaching online. And sometimes discussing these issues online will make a point. Therefore, we are going to discuss with people online, and if they will raise questions, we are going to discuss and answer. And if God permits us, maybe we shall go live one of these days. Announce, go live, and get questions. Otherwise, thank you, crew and team. May the Lord richly bless you.